Rob and Slim Show.
This is Brandon. You guys up and running?
Yeah, we're good, man. Sorry
doing,
about
Brandon?
that.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, no problem.
How you
No
doing
problem.
tonight?
How's it going, man?
Exhausted, but alive,
too.
I should say.
Yeah.
Really?
We've had a lot of fucking shit going on tonight, bro. And you are a screenwriter,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
said you told me
fighting the chisel through the Hollywood wall.
you told me earlier you were in the middle of a move from Vegas to L.A.
Yeah, I was hauling the nuts yesterday and Monday and Tuesday to get it all done, and yeah, so I'm exhausted today. But
Wow.
still here and alive.
That's cool, dude. And I saw you're from Chicago, like, by Chicago.
Yeah, I've been all up and down from Oak Park and Cicero, and lived in Bloomington, downstate, and then, of course, being in prison, I've been about in every town outside of 50 miles of nowhere.
Wow.
And
And I had heard your interview on the Naked Porch, and dude, I couldn't stop listening. It was amazing.
oh yeah, it gave it all, and a lot of people are shocked to hear all that history of, the struggle through life. And
It said your mom. You said your mom killed herself, and your dad died when you were 12, right?
yeah, she committed suicide, and we had suicide pact, and I didn't follow through with it, and she followed through with it when I was in St. Louis with my father.
Holy shit.
And so I rebounded from that one all right, but the mental damage is going to get you later in years. Had caught up and got abandonment issues and felt like screw love, there must be no such thing of it, and
Yeah.
so went the other direction, hate, and that gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have any positive influences in your life as a child?
Yeah, I had my grandmother, who's the beacon of unconditional love. Like, no matter what she did, she's there.
Yeah.
And so that hung on to me. She ingrained in me God and the Bible, and of course I was the prodigal son. I didn't want nothing to do with God, but she
Yeah,
always,
I wouldn't either.
I'd say, yeah, like, is this the deck of cards I got? And it wasn't getting easier, and I thought, well, doing evil seemed to work a lot better and
Pay
got a
off
lot
right
farther.
now.
Mm.
Yeah. And then it's like, no, the devil never lets you ride for free on his roller coaster. He will come pay his dues and get his pound of flesh.
Yeah.
It's like every lie and every betrayal you commit is just like another hit on your self-esteem and just comes back.
Yeah, because I by heart, was a good-hearted person. I was even sometimes called the honest criminal, because I was like, I never wanted anybody to be hurt that didn't have it coming.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, none of this running around and punching old ladies in the head to grab their bags, or, killing people for shoes. It's like, no, we didn't tolerate that.
Yeah.
They would try to get away with it. But I always had a kind heart, for the homeless and the poor. And so I was like, the whole time I'm watching this whole thing, I'm going, it's really not me. But it's fast money, it's power, it's something that I couldn't get because I had tried to go to school after the death of both of my parents, and it seemed like I was just surrounded. I had a friend die in St. Louis by gang warfare before I was even in it, when I was over at his house.
Oh, shit.
And so I'm sitting there going, nobody relates to me. I'm just this shadow that, just doesn't want to be bothered socially by kids, or can't seem to fit in, everything collapses. So I just wanted to be that kid that everybody would fear and go, oh man, he can get somebody after you.
Yeah.
That guy can get guns and drugs and women, and so that's the reputation I was building. But it just felt uneasy the whole time. Like, this really isn't me.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
I'm
just playing the part.
Yeah. So you were
Yeah.
like, were you kind
Yeah.
of, so as a kid you were kind of like socially awkward?
Yeah, definitely. Then that's the generations today, like with my daughter and her friends. It's like they come home from school, and she graduated now, but then they'd just go in the room and you wouldn't see nothing of them. If you cook something, they just grab a food and go back into the room, play video games, and that's the kid I was. Is like, I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to, I felt it was fake and phony, try to get in these cliques in school. As far as I made it, I got expelled my sophomore year, third week into it.
I was gonna say, how do
I thought it was phony.
How do you concentrate on anything after all that's happened to you as a child, especially, man? It's a lot.
Yeah, it racks you. It racks you. I was creating my own coffin one little nail at a time, and so it just bothered me. You know, they're on the basketball team, or here's the cheerleaders, and everybody's got a glorifying idolizing, and I was like, screw all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I just have them fear me. They, you know, I'm gonna bounce a basketball off my head, and like I'll bounce bullets off them.
Yup.
I don't know if I can ask this or not, but have you killed someone?
I could never discuss that.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw a lot of violent things in Chicago. Just a lot of violent things going up there, and you know, it's turf wars and it's fight for your life.
Yeah, I had a buddy who was actually got signed right when he died, but he was into music, and he was always afraid that if he ever made it big, that somebody would recognize him from his past. And he did a lot of shady stuff, man. And he was always afraid of getting recognized and getting like killed at a performance or something.
Yeah, I'm not so much the Vice Lords they're still strong. There's still anywhere between 35,000 members operating out of Chicago and 50 to 60,000 across the United States.
Wow.
But they became, unlike gangs like the Latin Kings and MS-13 and stuff like that, they became very disorganized in their government structure. You know, they used to be very organized, carried out, you know, brutality with precision, and it's just melted in these. Basically, if you're born on these blocks, you're automatically going to either be a traveler vice or you're going to be an undertaker. You're going to be mafia insane, just automatically. Like, you don't even have the choice anymore. And it used to be you had to prove your mettle, and then, you know, there was laws to abide by, and I started watching it unravel in the 90s when I was in it, and you're just going, wow, this isn't what. We have this strong literature that gives you this great esprit de corps going, you know, yeah, I'm a vice lord. And you're watching the guys that are violating people in the hypocrisy rolling out, and you're going, man, these guys are supposed to be our chiefs, and they're going in the houses and smoking crack, and they're double dealing their own guys. And so I was just like, I was really getting a bad taste, you know, from it already when I was on the outside. And then,
what made you clean up and get away from that?
Got to the joint, and it was reverse racism on me because I always stood up for the black community. You know, lived with a black family for a while.
Wow.
You know, still in contact with them. They're awesome. But it was like I thought I did all this, and then when I get to prison, I'm supposed to have the type of rank that you can take over a house at least, if not, you know, that a deck, a gallery. And I mean, they treated me still like I was a foot soldier, and you know, hold the shank down and make sure they know their literature. You walk in, I was like, well, I'm supposed to be a universal. That's the branch elite's job, not, you know, that's not universal. Universal is basically just watching over the branch elites, making sure everything's assigned duties. And I mean, they were treating me like I was a vice lord for 6 months and just dropped off the turnip truck.
Wow.
And so I would get some weed smuggled in, and you can make a lot of money. You know, if a toothpaste cap of weed in prison, you can make $20 to $50. And so if you smuggle just an ounce in, I mean, you make thousands. And so I'm giving these guys legs up in the joint, you know, bring it in, stuff it in. I had rips in my jacket, the state jackets they give you. So I'd be at a visit, you know, and they'd pass it, you know, across the table, and I'd stuff it in the jacket, and not up an ounce at a time. I mean, just 2/8 or 3/8, and I'd come so it wasn't stinking so much. The officer would be like, who's smoking? They're probably out there in the shed smoking it anyway. You want some of this, guys? And so I went. I'd smuggle in, try to get them, you know, up on their feet, and then they'd say, oh man, so and so ripped me off in another gallery. You know, this is going to be a war over this. I was just a bunch of balking, you know, and I would see them come in from the store, bags and bags of food, and I'd say, hey man, where's my $50 at? You know, oh no, this is past old, and so I'd write them up on charges under Vice Lord law, and one of them named Dum Dum, Tom Tom, but I called him Dum Dum, and he'd be like, no man, I got it, man. This is stuff that people owe me. I said, what do you think? I'm stupid? Who filed some charges then? file some charges on me. You know, I just wanted to take his fro and wipe the floor with it.
Yeah.
But I was going, no, man, I'm not stupid. I'm going to file charges on you. You know, go the regular course and stuff. And everything that I did, they'd take to the guys that run the committee that's over the prison, and they'd be like, no, it's insufficient. What's insufficient about it is this guy has no money coming in on his books, and here comes all these grocery bags. He's got his own Kroger's going on in here, and he didn't get it from the weed I gave him? No, you can't, you know, and that's when I started just didn't drop out. I just, because they can exonerate you, but they're going to kick your ass out. And so I was just like, I'm just done with it.
Where did you serve time?
Where?
Yeah.
Oh, I started out in Jolly at Dracula's Castle. And, you know, I was 18 years old when I first went down. And I was a skinny guy, but I had heavy rank behind me. And this place looked like a giant castle. I was like, this is not the Holiday Inn that they're talking about in the prison brochures. And there's a guard up there just cocking his shotgun, and I was going, you know, I called my grandma from the yard, and they're trying to, you know, sell buns, you know, people's buns as they go through, you know, and hey, I got the white boy over there. I got the guy over there. And I'm looking up at him going, wait a minute, man, I'm plugged. I'm a vice lord, you know. Oh, they didn't even believe it. You know, and I'm sitting there with guys that are coming in from the city with me, and they think it's the funniest thing in the world, you know, because they're going to wait and tell them, you know, and they all, no, I got him. I got a carton on that white boy.
Wow.
Oh, crap, you know.
Holy
so this
shit.
is what I'm walking into, and so that was the first one that I've been all over Mount Sterling, Shawnee a couple of times. That was a gladiator camp. Been to Sheridan, Logan, East Moline, Sweet Moline. That was the only minimum I've been to.
Wow.
Illinois River, and the Illinois River, Mount Sterling. Yeah.
Wow.
There's probably a couple more. I just got so used to riding that.
Wow, dude.
That prison bus, that Bluebird. I just, you know.
Did you get right in, when you finally, you know, gave up on it? Is that when you got into screenwriting?
Oh no, absolutely not. I was done with that, and so I got into the occult. And I met some guys in there that were in some of Crowley's orders. And he's been dead since '47. The orders that he formed.
Wow.
And so I was really going to go. You know, I even tried my hand with God, getting out of the gangs at first, and I got in with them phony ministers. You know, you got Joyce Lyers and Benny Sen and Joel Smokescreen and you know, all those guys. Yeah. And so I tried to get into that, all that prosperity stuff. You know, God's going to bless me if I write my prayer on a cloud.
Yes.
And bunch of crap. And so it really gave me a distaste. And so I was like, well, I'm going to see what the other side has to offer. And that's what it was actually getting into Satanism to begin with, the Church of Satan, that I was actually thinking, man, it's just a philosophy. It's a way of life. It's a culture. And it's not everything that, you know, Christians run from. But it wasn't strong enough for me. It was, you know, I kind of saw holes and these conundrums and these paradigms and stuff like that were going on that just didn't make sense. And I was like, one minute, you know, they're teetering against Aleister Crowley, and next minute they're praising him. And I'm just going, you know, what is going on here? But to talk to me was just either good or evil. And,
wow.
So had you actually practiced like black magic and stuff?
Yeah, I started out in black magic. Once again, I seem to always want to gravitate towards the things that cater to the dark side and the Nemesis and the, you know, the shadow. And so I started out with Satanism, the dark of the dark. And then when I got into ceremonial magic, you know, I realized, you know, it was still, now that I look back on it, it's still dark stuff. You know, you can paint a demon's name whatever you want, but it's still a demon, because say they're angelic masters of this planetary order. And so it was more with the way my brain operates. I loved ceremonial magic because it was very, like, it was idiot proof. Right. You know, if you were just some Goomba with a Slayer shirt on and pick up one of these books and think you're going to understand magic, it's absolutely impossible.
That was me. I was that jerk off. I bought the Necronomicon in my Slayer shirt. So.
and you're reading it out the door, and your neighbor's cats are going crazy. Yeah, keep that neighbor. Yeah, I actually got the Necronomicon when I was in prison. They wouldn't let it in, and so I ended up going to Shawnee versus Illinois River when I was getting into the ceremonial magic and hooked up with some of the orders on the outside, and so I was getting their tablets. You know, you got the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and so I was reading that and gravitating through the ranks as fast as I could in there without actually, you know, being able to perform, you know, in a cell. And so I ended up getting some of the officers through religious rites to practice some of the stuff in the chapel of all places, except it was after hours and nobody knew it, and but it was, you know, it was a religious freedom I was fighting for. And so I started really gravitating, and then like an officer, they would start coming to me at their cells at night. And these are the guys that are running around saying they're, you know, the Christians during the day and God bless, and, you know, read Mark 13, 15 to the other inmates, and they're coming asking me questions about the occult. And so when I got the Necronomicon sent in, they didn't allow it. It was under publication listed. Couldn't let it in.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I don't get it, because, you know, there is stuff in there about human sacrifice, but if you don't believe it, you don't believe it. You know, there's human sacrifice in the Bible. And so one of the officers, he said, well, when I went to send it back to my grandma, of all people, that's who got, like, all the occult books that they didn't accept. Like, she's stacking up these occult books, and she's the biggest Christian I've ever known.
Right.
and he said when he had to read a few pages, you know, and he said, I've seen that movie, The Evil Dead, you know, and I'm going, all right, you know, that's great. You know, I'm going to equate it with the movie on me. And he said he started seeing dark shadows, you know, in the property room. And he said, so I'm seeing this stuff's a little real. And I said, absolutely, it's real. And I said, but, you know, don't let your mind become your worst enemy, because a lot of magic is, you know, the great work, the conversion of the holy guardian angel and all that is actually self-transformation of yourself. So a lot of these demons, according to occult philosophy, is just really different functions of your mind that you don't know about, that you're bringing outside of your body.
That's how I always thought about it, too.
I had read that's what the Buddhists actually believe, that, like, that demons are actually in your mind. They're not an actual, like, being.
Yeah, it was a soothing pill, because that's what I was like. I wanted everything, and then I started just to look at logic, and I said, boy, they'll read any book, Tibetan Book of the Dead, the, you know, Bhagavad Gita. They'll read any, occultists will read anything to assimilate, you know, knowledge of all the secret, you know, the secret happenings, you know, your psychic pretense. And I was like, but let's stay away from that Bible. So that was my first clue. I was going, they'll read anything but that Bible. They accept any, you know, they'll read the Quran, they'll read, but they will stay away from that Bible. And I said, so to me, there's something there.
Yeah.
They're like, and they conjured with the 72 names of God, you know, when you're in Thelemic magic. And I'm just going, yeah, I don't think these are all God's names that he's going to use for that purpose, you know, but it sounded awesome at the time. And so I had officers come and, you know, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, they'd shift change right after they got off at their shift, and they'd say, you know, I had this magic book my kid brought home, you know, and I was leafing through it and stuff like that, and I was trying to pronounce some of these keys that guys, you know, what is it, the Nokian keys, you know, John Dee's the Nokian keys. And
right,
like,
yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, and his cat attacked him, you know, or attacked his wife, and I said, you know, well, there are forces behind it that you can't comprehend. You know.
Oh, cool, man. That is what?
Don't cut him off. All right, I told the next guy not to call.
Oh, okay, good. What was I gonna ask next? You going out for a cigarette?
Yeah, I'm just gonna run out real quick. I'll be right back though. But
okay, all
I
right.
told the next guy not to, and if he calls us, the next guy just hit red.
All right, cool. So now, what type of your screenplays? Is it all horror?
No, I write every genre basically except animation.
Okay.
And so, and I said I wasn't going to write a romantic comedy either. I said, you know, it's played out, and I did write one that came from Faye Simon's book. I adapted into a screenplay, and it actually turned out pretty good, because I was just going, I just don't want to approach that, you know, that any type of, I love you,
You're right.
you, baby.
We were talking about those earlier, like Adam Sandler is just, that's all he does is like the rom-com thing.
It
Yeah.
gets worse and worse with it every year, too.
Yeah.
And he looks like his face got run over by a dump truck, but everybody's supposed to love him, and I'm just going, he's just schmarmy.
Oh yeah, he just sucks. He had like one or two good movies. Like I liked Happy Gilmore, and that was it.
Yeah, Happy
like,
Gilmore.
Billy Madison, yeah.
Billy Madison. Yeah.
I'm a little bit more forgiving.
Little
I
Nicky.
like I like Little Nicky. I like
was good.
Waterboy is my favorite Adam Sandler movie. And
Yeah, I could deal with Waterboy and Mr. Deeds. Like the vomit, he's just swirling around the toilet now. I'm just going, how does he get these things made? And I'm sitting on, excellent scripts, thanks to God, and I'm going with it's not of myself, but I'm just going, I think they're pretty good scripts and pretty powerful, and they've got some heads turned, but nobody wants to make the first pull, it's like a tug of war, and it's like, no, somebody's got to make the first pull, and then everybody jumps on. And I was like, what else I got to do to prove myself in this industry? But I've had, pretty good success for being an unknown, and got good things placed right now with some good guys. I'm hoping turns into, some banknotes. And hey, everybody that hasn't paid me out there, banknotes.
Right. What now the scripts you write, are they influenced with all the shit that you've experienced throughout your life?
Oh yeah, experience is by far the greatest teacher.
Right.
And, because and some people can nail it. They're good visualizing stuff, and they'll read, horrific things that happen. They can really master the wordsmith stuff into a script, and they're great. But actually being there, you actually ingrains, gives you a different kind of concept how characters think, and I think that's why I style the scripts a little differently than anything that's out there, because I'm not just guessing this is what happened or how this person would have reacted in this situation. A lot of the situations I've seen, I've been the observer going, that's how somebody reacts in this situation. And so it really catered to the writing. And in the beginning, it was too raw.
Right.
And that's my biggest friction was, oh man, it's getting graphic. Why does this have to be in there, and just going, well, I just wanted to shock people and show them that when they find out that it's really peeled from a piece of your life and they don't even know it when you tell them that, or I got this out of a dream, and they go, it was great talking to you, Brandon. I never want to talk to you again if you dream things like that. And so I think they really come ahead, and I've written for Ron Perlman, and
oh wow,
nice.
got to suck my way back into that one, some sucking his butt.
I gotta ask, you've read a lot of occult books and stuff, correct?
Oh yeah, you have to go through certain levels, and
oh, I'm sure. Did you ever read Dante's Inferno?
Oh, I love Dante's Inferno. His levels of hell and circles. And,
I read that when I was just out of high school, and I loved it. And that's probably right around when I actually do own a copy of the Necronomicon, but I only read like a little bit of it. It sort of like fell off the wayside for me. But yeah, that was something that really got me interested way early on. Was I loved Dante's Inferno, and I loved the description of every layer of hell.
So about the debate, whether it was the Mad Arab that did the Necronomicon or H.P. Lovecraft. And,
yes,
because you can see a lot of the big debate that still goes on in the cult circles.
Absolutely. I've heard that several times before.
It wasn't H.P. Lovecraft, because I always thought it was
he
just
wrote
HP.
that short story, The History of the Necronomicon.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And apparently in the story it goes where the Mad Arab he gets torn apart like in broad daylight in front of everybody by something unseen.
Throw him in some cage. Yeah, they threw him in some cages, and he got ripped to pieces by some dogs summoned at a certain time. Yeah. That's been a while since I've read that one. It's been 20-something years. He has all the the things that are supposed to be under the ground in Cthulhu. And
well, I have a question. This is concerning the occult. Like I was like watching a show about the Son of Sam murders, and apparently David Berkowitz had actually claimed that he wasn't acting alone, that he was part of a bigger cult. What's your opinion on that? Like,
I would think, because now now he's converted to Christianity, on the Son of Hope, I think, and I think he would have. Yeah, he was. So I think he'd be more truthful what he's saying now, which I really haven't got into. But I know at that time, I think he was, watching the movie and studying stuff like that. I think he was schizophrenic, definitely. If not borderline, dissociative cognitive disorder, that whatever they call what the personalities today.
Right.
But yeah, I think he was, and I do totally believe that there's, he had demonic influence to warp him that bad. Definitely had. He was dabbling in something.
And then it's just weird that he got his throat was when after he had come out and said that his throat got cut in prison.
Wow.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Yeah, yeah. He actually, I saw an interview with him, and he was showing like the scar, like he had actually survived getting his throat slashed.
Oh yeah, and Dahmer didn't make it so easy like that. I think he got the broom handle impaled up his anus. I think he went out bad.
I think he broom handled him and then caved his skull in with a dumbbell or something. Something like that.
I was reading some article about how the guy did it. That he was just still talking about eating people's kids and throwing it in their face like he was this superstar, superstar serial killer and the one guy got tired of hearing, and he took them both out, the other guy and Dahmer.
Huh.
Wow.
You know what his favorite shampoo is, though?
What's that?
Head and Shoulders.
Nice.
I finally got to use that joke after 30 years.
Was it worth it?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. 30
great.
years I've been waiting for the opportune time.
That's a great one.
That's
Finally
awesome,
happened.
dude. Fuck yeah. Now, what was your first project you wrote?
I was doing 90 Days that I had from the last crime I committed was in 2007, and I had to go in 2008, and I wrote 13 scripts. I just needed to write and stay away from the dummies because you go in there with the short time, people, they jack your time off. So you stay out of the gambling and the 21 and stuff like that because there's always fights breaking out and just mind your own business. So I wrote 13 scripts, and they were just really raw because I was channeling all that stuff from all that years of just pent up frustration and a crappy childhood, and I was just going in the gangs and all that stuff and the innocent people that I saw hurt by senseless street violence, and so I wrote it just really raw so people weren't ready at that time.
Wow.
And now you got scripts being sold that are big spec sales, going for, 6 figures and hitting the hit list and the Brit list and the blacklist that are very gory and violent. Like, I think now my stuff's starting to filter in. So, yeah, the first things I wrote were much more original. Like, I wasn't trying to read the screenwriting books. I was just trying to follow Tarantino and Stuart Beatty and screenwriters like that online and read their scripts. And then you got to find out there is a structure, but you got to find out how to break that structure because once it's paint by numbers, the audience is going to see it coming a mile away, and you got to keep them twisted and turned.
Yeah.
You think it's going to go this way, I'm going to take it this way. You think this character is going to make it out, he's going to die.
Wow.
The great example I've ever seen of that was Kevin Smith's Red State, where that was his whole main purpose of that film was just how more ridiculous can I make this? Even talking about it, write a page or what's the one thing
Michael
you're not going to expect?
Is in that, great actor, and and you got to keep it just rolling. And Tarantino, it's Red State was good at that. Michael Parks in that, he's a great actor, and
John Goodman was in that.
Really?
Yeah.
He can play dark shit. I saw him in History of Violence, I think it was, and he was amazing in that, John Goodman.
And those are the ones that stand out. It's movies like that, History of Violence, American History X. You see some guys' choppers on the sidewalk about, and they would do that in prison, but on the metal sinks.
Oh, nice.
Somebody incorporated that into that. You're just going, you can feel it in your teeth. You visualize that scene,
Yeah.
You feel your teeth scraping on that concrete. You know?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that's visceral
Like,
writing
fucks you
there.
up.
That-
Like, it makes you feel weird just for seeing it.
Yeah, you're sitting there, everybody's rubbing their gums in the movie theater, you know, I hope my teeth don't fall out tonight, you know. You ain't got no teeth, you got dentures. And,
What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
it was probably the one that I hated in the beginning, Pulp Fiction. When I first watched it, I think it came out in 1994. Actually, the first one that he actually he wrote, but he didn't direct, was Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
It was just so off the wall.
Yeah,
You know, Oliver Stone did it, but they kind of booted him down to a story credit. But actually, Oliver Stone did Tarantino better than Tarantino.
Right? He hated that film too, Tarantino, for the longest time.
Yeah, and I'm going, he just did what Tarantino wanted to do, but he did it,
Yup.
But Pulp Fiction, when I first watched it, I think in 94, 95 came out on video, you know, that's when they had the old VHS, you know. And I was just like, what in the hell am I watching?
Right, yeah,
You know?
it definitely does
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
You want to know what's
Where is
Pulp
this
Fiction.
going?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like I thought somebody just had thrown somebody a video camera and said, go shoot something today. You know, whatever comes out, comes out.
You know what's funny about that?
So
is-
then you start hearing people quote the dialogue, you know, and the Royale with cheese and,
Yeah.
you know,
A tasty
the verse in
burger.
Ezekiel
Tasty
from the
beverage.
Bible that's not even in the Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That was not even in the Bible.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you start seeing the characters, and when you're studying screenwriting, they're breaking down why that was such a, you know, a magnum opus of creation filmmaking, you know, and then you respect it finally. You know, it's like, you know, you're the guy that hates to taste cheese, and all of a sudden it becomes your favorite food. You know, you're going, oh, now I see the artistic genius in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like that he made
so I was like,
John Travolta look not gay. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He got that out of fucking Travolta. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to know what's
he's like
funny?
he's a great Jesus to people's careers that are failing. Like
Yes.
he resurrects all actors and brings them back. And
what were you saying, Mike? I'm
You know
sorry.
what's funny about the Pulp Fiction? When that came out in 94, 95, I was like 15.
Wow.
And the best part about that was I had seen Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, that was
And
great.
at that point in time, and I'm like, yeah, this looks like it could be good, you know? And supposedly there was always a theory where like a lot of his older films were all linked together.
Right.
Yes.
The Vega
Yeah.
Brothers. One of the Vega
Yeah.
brothers
One
was
of the
in
Vega brothers
Reservoir
is
Dogs.
in Reservoir
Yes,
Dogs. Yeah.
Vince.
And supposedly something about the briefcase in
Oh.
Reservoir Dogs is similar to the briefcase in Pulp Fiction or
Really?
something like
Yeah.
I
that.
think it was
Yeah,
Marcellus' soul,
it's alleged.
right?
It's supposedly the briefcase. You know, when he opens it and you see the light on his face.
Yes.
It's allegedly what was the guy? Ving Rhames played him. I forgot his name.
Yes.
Or-
But it's allegedly his soul in the case.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That I did not hear.
That's what it is. Yup.
Yeah, his soul, because the book came out after the movie. Somebody else wrote, you know, Tarantino still got a title on it, and it was like going into the little things that when you watch the movie, going, is it a piece of gold in there glowing on his face?
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, it's his soul. And then the character that had the Band-Aid on the back of his head, or the
devil,
one of the
right?
Vegas brothers. Yeah, and it's supposed to be that it was ripped. His soul was pulled out of that, what's his name? That Ving Rhames played.
Yes.
Oh, Marcellus Wallace.
Marcellus Wallace,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and that Band-Aid was when his soul was ripped out of him, and I was like, now he probably thought of these things later. I don't know. Tarantino's his mind's a labyrinth, but
Yeah.
you're sitting there going, well, that is neat, and you never say it in the movie. You know, you never say those things in the movie, and it's like it was a giant hunt for people to be like, what is this? What is the meaning of this scene? And
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, you said that you write all different genres. Like, what's your favorite genre to write?
horror is the favorite. I find it the easiest because it's, you know, I'm well acquainted with it, and I mean, I dream vampires and demons
Right.
and ghosts, and you know, that's the
Yeah.
stuff I dream. Those aren't nightmares to me, you know. You know,
That's
nightmare is sitting in the park feeding some ducks. You know, that's the nightmare. And because I'm lucid dreamer, and I know I'm dreaming, so I'm going, I'm able to actually create things in my dream, like in the story. So I know if I'm getting chased by a zombie, I'm going to reach in this cabinet, and there's going to be a double-barrel shotgun in there.
Or a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I'm going to get these suckers, and so I'm able to pull it. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. It's like in your mind's going, no, I got something else in that cabinet for you. It's a big 200-pound, guy that just wants to rip your throat out. And, oh, that cabinet sucks. So yeah, horrors, and then it's, I guess, being bipolar, I have both spectrums, and comedy's my other favorite.
Okay.
But there's just not so much you can do with comedy.
Yeah.
It's the jokes today has changed, and we're entering the generation gap for me, where it's going, I just don't find that funny.
Yeah, dude. You're
like
right.
the new style of comedy is just so. I mean,
anything goes.
Yeah.
Anything goes. You got, Will Ferrell's and Get Hard falling into a guy's penis, and you're just going, wow, as close as you got that, 20 years ago was American Pie, molesting an apple pie. It's like, but now anything goes. They actually show the penis and show the lips hitting it, slow.
Well, the comedy's changed so much. It's like, it used to be where action movies were all R-rated and comedies were all PG and PG-13.
Yeah.
Now it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, violence is fine.
And I like a good turd joke and a good ball joke every day, as long as it's done, not where it's just out of left field, where you're just going, you're just saying to try to say something.
Just to be shocking, just to get a laugh or a reaction.
Yeah, I watched The Wedding Ring the other day, and here it is, the peanut butter on his penis, and the dog's just, and I'm just going, man, 20 years ago, they would have burned the movie theater down if they played that. It's like, that's cool. That's status quo now.
Yeah. And then 20 years before that, it was, Blazing Saddles, and they were dropping the N-bomb left and right.
Yeah, it's one big rotation. Just like likes come around, and it's going to be, what do we expect from the new generations? My daughter's generation, like, Lord, don't let them have kids. Like,
I know, right?
They're going to be like, the people under the hill. It's going to be like they don't even know what daylight is. They sit in their rooms with the computers. They're going to have the Oculus, Google on, and they're never going to even know reality anymore.
Dude, it's going to be crazy. Like,
Brandon, listen, we got to let you go, but this was great, man. Like,
this is amazing.
Great chemistry in the room here, and it just fucking amazing. We'll definitely have to talk to you again. I do want to say what's funny is we had talked to a guy who was like a medium earlier who contacts the spirit, and we just turned it into like a whole joke. When you started talking about the occult, everybody in the room is like all into it. Like, we need to, like, this is real. This is serious. Like, it's funny. It's cool, man.
The occult's the kind of the
darker
side of that whole aspect.
I had studied when I was younger. I was into more of like the white magic stuff, but I had looked into like black magic and stuff like that too. So
wow.
Although I'm more skeptical nowadays, but
you spared yourself some heartache.
Dude, I've heard.
Well, here's the difference. Is the guy before you was just a scam artist. You're somebody that actually
you've been through it, bro.
Are proactive in it, and you're knowledgeable about it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sell snake waters or oils. I'm just,
talk to Tom.
What this guy had is like a box. It was like a radio, and he could communicate to the dead. He said it was like Thomas Edison created this phone that can communicate
I've heard
with the
of them
dead.
things where, they strum a little something, and it's like it's supposed to be an electrical vibration. It changes something.
It just sounds like he was picking up like stray radio singles. Like I was watching a video and somebody said good morning, and he's like got this whole group of people like circling around him, and he's like, "Did you hear that? They said good morning."
That means something. Yeah.
That was silly, but yeah, we're gonna let you go, man. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find your stuff, and we're gonna have to do this again because this is great.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at one Brandon Wyse. It's WYSE. I got the strange spelling there. Thanks, Dad. And BrandonWyse.com is my website, WYSE. And you can get to see there the cover art, some synopsis, and hit me up. I'll be there. Communicate with anybody. I love meeting new people and talking films and bizarre stuff like the occult. Just
cool, dude.
And
thank you so
appreciate
much.
it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you for connecting with us, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay. I'll keep listening to your show, watching it.
Yeah.
Listen.
Watch and
right,
listen,
brother.
you can do both.
Yep. Have a great one.
Okay, guys. Have a good one.
Take care,
All right,
brother.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
And that is a wrap, and that was one hell of a show. Yeah, we're the best. Fuck you, No Filter Paul. Fuck you. Try to do that. Try to do that.
Fuck you, you douchebag. No, do the Opie and Anthony.
Opie Anthony. Let's play an Opie and Anthony clip. Oh, you might know me from the Opie and Anthony show.
I got banned 15 years ago.
They don't like me.
Opie and Anthony. Oi, I'm No Filter Paul.
No fuck
Get his-
hard, Paul.
put-
No, can't find your dick, Paul. Go
I
fuck
can't
yourself.
find me dick. And I've got me thumb stuck in me asshole.
Get it. Bring us out, No Filter
Yeah,
Paul.
play us out, No Filter Paul.
Thanks for listening to Rob and Slim Show. No Filter Paul sucks.
Yes, you do.
All right, see you guys next week.
Love you, Chief.
Chief is the best.
Thank you, everybody that checked this out tonight.
Yes, thank you
Even
very much.
the bike pump, the triple action pump guy, he's like, I'm watching. He understood. I'm like,
Right.
dude, we haven't even cracked the surface with this guy. Like, I'll reschedule.
He was
you.
Brandon was amazing. That was
And-
so
really
cool.
was.
Like, he was just a really great guy to listen to.
Yeah.
I felt bad when I asked him like if he had killed somebody, but it was like one of those
Oh.
things. Like I know everybody's thinking it, and I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
I have to ask.
I felt
like,
bad asking the other guy to cancel, and he's like, dude, I understand. This is great. I know I'm
Cool.
watching.
Oh, he was
Fucking
listening?
awesome.
That's fucking
Yeah.
sick.
All right.
I'm like, dude, I have to
All right.
cancel. Like,
See you guys next week.